Joining us in studio 92.9 the hilarious Josh Blue. Thank you for making time for us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, you're going to be at the Blue Room Comedy Club in downtown Springfield tonight and tomorrow night. I think you were there last night, too. You've already got one show that's sold out.
Yeah, and the other three are looking very close. So if you want to see me, get your tickets.
You better get to it.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how people know you, because you get your start in comedy in college. Is that right?
Yeah, I started doing stand-up, doing open mics on campus, and all downhill from there, really.
Just kind of fell in love with it? Was that your original trajectory?
Kind of it was surprisingly natural and easy, and I felt really comfortable on stage. It was obviously some stage fright, but for whatever reason, I was just able to do it from the beginning and just be funny, and it's quite addictive, actually. Like, when you get a bunch of people to laugh, it just feels really good, and I got addicted early and just never looked back.
What was your original plan when you were in college? Because I was talking to Bill Bellamy a couple weeks ago, and he was studying something like economics or something.
Yeah, I was more like a natural science kind of guy. Maybe a zookeeper or something would have been fun.
Oh, okay. That makes sense to what happened to at your internship, which I'm sure is a bit of an old story, but you take an internship in Australia.
It was actually in West Africa.
Okay, West Africa.
Senegal.
My apologies.
Yeah, no worries. And I did a
Welcome.
internship in a pretty primitive zoo, and they let me have firsthand interaction with all these animals that in the States they really wouldn't have let you do that.
Yeah, you get locked. You have them lock you in a cage.
Yeah, I had them put me on display as a primate in next to a gorilla. So that was a very interesting day for sure.
Was this gorilla separated off from you, or was it
we shared a wall of bars.
Okay, so it wasn't like you could go over and pet the gorilla or anything like that?
He was I'm one of 3 people in the world that could actually pet him.
Yeah?
But he probably would have pulled my arms off if I was in the cage with him.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely happen. I don't know if I would.
He's a big boy.
You're
for
ballsier
sure.
than I am. I don't know if I would jump in there.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. Definitely putting myself on display in a zoo in Africa as a disabled white person was pretty much a spectacle. I'm sure there's people in Senegal to this day that still tell the story, like, remember that time we went to the zoo?
How did the people take it when they see this guy in a...
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it was like before cell phones, really, and people must have been like leaving the zoo and getting their friends and coming back, because it was the busiest day at the zoo they ever had.
They're texting their friends.
Yeah, but it was before
pre-text.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't know, but it was the best I ate too. People kept bringing me bananas and peanuts and stuff.
Oh, wow, you really... Now I know if you're hungry what to do. Just lock yourself in a cage with a gorilla.
Yeah, they were throwing food to me.
So you've been on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, I got 3rd this last season, yep.
And that's kind of reignited the flame of your popularity, because I know here at the studio, like, as I was walking down the hall this morning, I could hear your comedy playing. People have been excited for weeks that you're going to be in studio.
Yeah, well, I won Last Comic Standing in 2006, so that really is what got me on the national stage. And, I've been having an awesome career just from that, 16 years ago. But AGT really skyrocketed me back into the limelight, which is awesome, and I just love making people laugh. I love performing, and it's just a great opportunity to do what I love to do on a grand scale.
Yeah, there's a beautiful energy, I think, about being able to make people laugh, especially in this time of pandemic, of this panorama where everyone's got to stick up their butt, it feels like a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if anybody needs to laugh right now, it's all of us. Really, it's been a hell of a couple of years.
Yeah, it's definitely been, everybody's hateful. Nothing's funny anymore, but you are very funny. I was watching some of your stuff. I know you and I talked earlier on the phone, but that airplane bit that you did just sticks out in my mind too.
Oh, yeah, man, that's an old one for sure. But I mean, I have all new material from any of my specials, so if you're familiar with my work, you can come to the show and expect to see all different stuff too.
And even if you're not familiar, you know it's got to be a good show if the tickets are almost sold out.
Yeah, we're definitely almost there, so that's exciting. And I have 3 specials on Amazon Prime that people can watch and get a taste of it, or YouTube, tons of stuff, but nothing like the live show.
Do you want to do, because I know a lot of comedians, they branch out into the acting world or they'll develop their own podcast. Or do you have interest in doing something like that? Or do you?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have my own sitcom and do movies and all that. Unfortunately, I have cerebral palsy, so the characters I'm going to play are also going to have cerebral palsy. So
What? You can't just take that out?
Yeah, I can't unact that. So basically, a show based on my life would be perfect for me, where I didn't have to pretend like I'm not disabled.
Yeah, and you talk about that a lot in your comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's self-deprecating humor, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely self-deprecating is my brand for sure. I'm happy to make fun of myself all day, and and when you make fun of yourself, it leaves the door open to then also poke fun at others. And you see, I'm not really saying anything serious, but it's a way of educating people through laughter, I think, is the best way, because you leave my show with a different perspective of disability. Might not be a better perspective, but
it's a little different than it was before.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this is your third trip to Springfield, you said?
I believe so, yeah.
What do you think of the Midwest?
I grew up in Minnesota, so I'm a Midwestern boy.
You're used to it then.
Yeah, I like all the trees and everything, and folks are usually pretty kind. So, yeah, I mean, and this is, if anywhere needs to laugh, it's here.
The Midwest. Don't worry, you can tell a joke, and in 10 years it'll catch up to the Midwest. It's like the fashion a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, I've come to find that.
Yeah. What do you think people can expect if they come out tonight to the Blue Room? What's going to be the pivotal, the memorable moment we used to say in TV, you think?
Well, I mean, my feature act is John Novosad. He's a dear friend of mine, but also a comic that I really look up to coming up through my career. So he's so damn funny. And then, obviously, I'm the icing on the cake. So, I mean, if you've seen me on TV, it's really nothing compares to the live show. The live show is the real deal. You see, I'm not just messing around. This is what I do for a living,
I think it's mine. Nope, not me.
It's me this time.
Ooh, I know. I heard it. My phone dang earlier. Dinged. Dunged. I don't know.
Dung.
What's the? And I was like, oh, I can't believe I didn't have that on vibrate. I was a wee bit embarrassed there for a moment. But coming back to Springfield, I mean, what makes you kind of want to return to this area and return to Blue Room?
I mean, it's all about the crowds. People get the jokes. You'd be surprised. You go a lot of places and they don't get it.
No, talk about what it's like as a comedian on stage and an artist of the laughs, if you will, to kind of be met with, like, to have a set that totally kills in one place and then the next place people.
I'm generally pretty good at like force feeding it to you and making you get it.
Yeah.
I have a way of like educating you enough to the program, but it's definitely heartbreaking when you tell a joke that is golden, but you can see it hit them in the forehead and fall like a dead pigeon or something.
Oh, poor little bird. Yeah, I know what that's like. Like, you'll put your heart and soul into making something like a TikTok, and you think it's hilarious.
Right.
The people you show it to get an LOL, but then the audiences reward you with 4 likes.
4 likes, yeah, exactly.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, wow, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah. Am I embarrassed? I don't know.
I don't even know. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to that stuff either. You know what I mean? What works someplace or doesn't. You post the same thing on Instagram, it'll get tons of likes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason,
What do you think, as a comedian who was kind of there prior to social media to now, where social media can kind of create this name recognition among an audience for you?
It's definitely a different sort of thing. Like, if you had told me early in my career that social media would be a major part of my career, I'd be like, get out of here. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. But it really is. I mean, I have over 1 million followers on Facebook now, and my Instagram's blowing up, which is great, and I love it. But it also is so fickle.
Yeah.
I can't post anything without somebody having something to say.
Somebody's got an opinion.
Oh, you went to the zoo? Zoos are terrible. Okay, thanks, man. All right.
Well, thank you for that thought, sir. I'll put that right in my bag of give a craps.
Very productive.
Yeah. That's what I don't get is like, why do people opt to troll when you can just scroll by? Right. Like, I've never seen a post and thought, this is the time that I'm going to let this complete stranger know.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, he's going to learn about that. During the pandemic, you didn't tour. Instead, you were telling me you stayed at home with the kids.
Yeah, that was a ride.
Yeah, right. Was it a good one or one straight to hell?
No, it was fine. You know, I have some really amazing kids, but at the same time, being locked in a house with anybody is not the best. You know, lots of long walks.
Long walk. Yeah. How old are your kids?
11 and 13.
So you got 2 boys, right?
A girl and a boy.
Okay, so they're on the cusp of adulthood almost. Yep. So you're not just getting locked in the house with like little kids, like little toddlers who are learning words for the first time. They're like developing their own thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, they're very full functioning human beings that have their own opinions.
Yeah. How did that go with them?
It's good. You know, my kids are very, very funny, so they actually genuinely make me laugh, which is nice to have. If you're gonna make their lunches, at least entertain me. You know?
Yeah, and it's probably good to be on the receiving end of the laughter too, not just to be the person who gives and gives and gives.
Right.
A bit with it. Do you have any? Like, where do you go when you start to develop your work? Do you have like a mentor you talk to? Do you run it off this guy here? Do you just have it pop into your head?
I never write anything down. I just go on stage and take an idea and form it on stage live. So every joke is brand new. You know, I'm saying it for the first time a lot of times. And then, you know, I'll workshop it with a comic buddy or something, or you know, John will watch the show tonight and be like, hey, when you said that, you could also say this there. Or, you know, we're constantly giving each other ideas and tags and stuff.
So if you go to the Blue Room Comedy tonight, the show you see tonight might not be the same show you see tomorrow.
I've never done the same show. I'm not even capable of doing that. Like, you tell me to do something verbatim, I can't even do it. That
kind of makes my head explode because I feel like it takes a lot of time to develop a set, but you're just shooting from the hip every night. That's an incredible talent in and of itself.
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously I know the jokes that I want to tell that night, but I never try to force it into a mold or something because then it feels stagnant or, you know, telling jokes is all about it seeming like you said it for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. So, but if you do it the way I do it, it is like saying it for the first time because I'm like, okay, what's the next one? Oh, here we go. Let's say this one, you know?
Yeah.
So it's never in order.
Yeah. You probably go on stage with like a bullet point rough edit. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about this, but not overly committed to anything. Yeah. Can you talk to us a little bit about becoming prominent in the comedy space and kind of how that has changed things? Did you see that for yourself when you were a kid emerging in college with your comedic talents, or did you see it kind of as, you know, I enjoy this, a side thing? Did you ever see it becoming the most, you know, your job, like this is what you do to pay the bills?
Yeah, you know, obviously in college I was just kind of doing it for fun and figuring it out. And, you know, you see other big name comics that are successful, but I never like equated that to like a real thing that you could do.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a comedian. Okay, buddy.
Good luck. I feel like that's like very Midwest too, like Midwest mentality. If you kind of do something out of the norm, I guess you could say, it's kind of like, what is this guy doing?
Right. So there was that, but then when I got into the real world and I found the comedy scene in Denver, I like no prisoners. I just went for it. And then once I found the stage, I was like looking at these other people that were comedians on the scene, and I'm like, I know I'm funnier than that guy. I know I'm funnier than that guy, which sounds cocky, but I just...
No, it's just okay to be confident.
I really was confident. And then I started doing like local contests and winning every single one, and just... So I just came out shooting.
And is that what led to Last Comic Standing? How does that audition process work? Do you just show up one day and say, I'm auditioning, or do they reach out to you?
You know, there's an open call.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually auditioned the year before I won. I stood in line for 6 hours in -15 in Chicago, and I got in, barely time to thaw out, and I got like 1 minute into my 2-minute audition. They're like, next. I was like, huh?
They just gave you the buzzer?
Yeah.
Little did they know that you'd be the winner the next year.
Yeah, and then after that, I got a bunch of college gigs. I got like 35 college gigs all over the country, and I really just got good there because if you can make dumb college kids laugh, you can do anything.
Do you still do college shows?
Here and there for sure.
How has it changed compared to what you did in 05, 06 prior to winning to Last Comic Standing to what it is today? Because I know there's kind of been, like Jerry Seinfeld won't go on, Bill Maher won't go on to these college campuses. How's it changed for you?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm further away from college myself, so I'm just kind of an old guy in the room. But that being said, it's like I'm really good at walking the line and making it almost inappropriate, but still palatable enough to keep the kids' attention. So, but they definitely seem dumber.
You said it, and I think I agree. I don't go onto a college campus very often. It's been over a decade, almost a decade now since I've been out, and I don't know. I'm going to defer to you on experience with college kids now.
Yeah, and I mean, and maybe we've always just been that dumb, but when you're of the age, you don't realize that you're just as dumb as they are.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like that kid that thinks they're just as smart as their parents, and then they turn 30, and it's like, oh, wait,
man,
they weren't dumb at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about me. My parents were always smarter than me.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. Now, are you on a tour, or are you just kind of picking up places as you see fit to where you want to go, or how's it working officially?
I mean, comedy touring is different than like a band. We don't like go, city to city. There's no rhyme or reason to them. Like I'm in Jacksonville, Florida next weekend. So it's like I fly home every week and then I fly to the next time. So I'm touring, but it's not like
Yeah. So it's kind of like a reasonably normal schedule that you still see the kids once a week or something.
Go home and be a dad half the week and then go be a comedian the other.
And then say peace out. Do you think your kids will follow in your footsteps?
I mean, they're both very funny. I could see my daughter being a comedian. Her timing is impeccable. But, who knows? I definitely try not to sway them either direction, let them figure out who they are first.
Yeah. Yeah, they're young, right? I changed my major in college 6 times, so
right, exactly.
13-year-old has it figured out. So, okay, Josh Blue is going to be live at the Blue Room Comedy Club tomorrow night. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow night.
That's right, 7 and 9:15.
And I think the 7 o'clock tomorrow night is sold out. I want to say
sold out, and the other ones are very close.
So if you want to get your tickets, you best get them now. And you better order them online. It kind of sounds like walking up and buying them's not going to be...
I don't think that's going to be an option.
Yeah, so buy them online, make it happen. Oh, I did want to ask this. America's Got Talent. You're performing in front of big names, but one of them being Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
And walk us through that, because Simon Cowell. I know Simon Cowell as that guy who has, he's judging. There's no light judgment coming from that guy.
Yeah, he's definitely known for being pretty rough on people. And honestly, I really enjoyed that, and I wasn't afraid of him at all, which I think he's not used to people. I went after him, and I picked on him a bunch, and I could see he genuinely appreciated it. I think when you're at the top, a lot of times people are afraid to say anything about you because they're afraid, but that's all we want is somebody to be like, yeah.
They pick on him a little bit.
Yeah, you use Botox, the old part.
I use Botox. I'm not going to lie. Am I angry? Am I sad? My face is frozen. You won't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, it's a secret. Okay, well, thanks for making time for us today. I know that when you're touring, you primarily work at night, so getting up and making it out to somewhere is...
Well, it's all good. It's nice to leave the room for a minute.
Yeah. Where are you guys staying? Are you down... Well, you don't have to tell us that. We don't want no creeps showing up. You know what I mean?
I don't even know. It's somewhere.
It's a hotel.
Yeah,
there's a room.
Just another room.
Yeah. I'm sure it all blends together at some point. So, okay, tomorrow night, Blue Room Comedy Club. Tickets at blueroomcomedyclub.com. Josh, thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Mm-hmm.